All right, fellas, get some rest, man. It is 11:11. Get some rest. Get some food.
Make a wish. Make a wish.
Make a wish. Yeah, my wish is that we go back to Sundays.
Except for in 2 Sundays we got the Super Bowl, but
yeah, that's different. Maybe we can go. Maybe we can go Saturday that day or something like that. That weekend. Yeah. I definitely want to do weekends, so we could
do it live from Franklin House.
Ooh, I've never been there. What is that like? I gotta look up photos. I don't even know what it like. What type of place is it?
It's like
the Grindhouse. The Grindhouse.
It's like the Valpo version of Kilroy's.
Ooh. Okay.
No, it is not like that. Don't be.
Wait, you would say Northside is every time I got that.
There is no.
I know y'all VIP there, so. Okay,
dude, I don't remember the last time I got ID'd at the door. Honestly, they don't even ID me anymore. This BG. Dude, we know you here
from the NBA show. BG, what up?
I say when I go there, I know BG.
I know BG. Come on, come on. Yeah, bottle service already.
Go. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey. You know what time it is? Yeah. You know what time it is? Some people are probably like, what time is it? You know what time it is.
It's showtime.
Fellas. I have to apologize to the people. I really do. Actually, what am I talking about? That was a different show. Look at me. I'm already losing my mind.
You a busy man.
I am too busy, man. We're all busy. Trust me, we're all very busy. But hello all. Hello people. Let me redo that one. Let me see. Hello, good folks. How you guys doing? This is Coach T. This is the Coach T NBA show with BG and Zay. I want to do the intro. I want to say what up to the people. I want to allow you guys, BG and Zay, to say hello to the people. But I also want to say, before we do any of that, fans, thank you for listening. Thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for taking time out of your day, your weekend, your lives in general to listen to our fine show. So let's get right to it. BG, Zay, I'll start with you, BG. How you doing? Tell the people out there.
Man, I'm doing all right. Every day's obviously just a blessing. Celebrated my youngest niece's birthday this weekend. She just turned 2. So we had a birthday party for her. So that was fun. It's just, like I said, every day is a blessing. It's another day to be, grateful for all that we have. Hopefully this snowstorm that's coming up doesn't keep us inside too much, but everything besides that, we're good.
No school coming up? Is that what I'm hearing? Snowstorm, no school?
Possible e-learning Wednesday.
Possible e-learning. Oh, ooh, okay. And I see BG coming with the positive vibes, man. I like that. Hang 10. I like that. Zay, what you got?
Definitely, just blessed. We moving along with the year, already in the 2nd month of the year. Everything moving along, just smiles everywhere, just trying to make something out of every day, trying to make someone's day as well. So you guys definitely make our days by listening, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Can I make a special announcement? Not an announcement, but hey, Valentine's Day is coming up. So if any of our listeners, you need a Valentine, I'm good. I'm good to go.
Hey, well, BG, look, I told you on the last show, you got a couple, you may have a couple admirers, secret admirers. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout, man.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Keep my eyes open.
Well, let's do this, BG. Before we get into the show, which will be a great show, by the way, we got a lot of cool stuff we're gonna hit you guys with. BG, if you did have a little I'm putting you on the spot right now. You did have a little Valentine's Day. If you had to do something special for a special someone for Valentine's, what's an idea or two that you would have for a nice little sweet Valentine's? And I know Zay got a whole back pocket of tricks and things he can do for Valentine's Day. So if you need any help, talk to Zay. He's the guy to talk to. But BG, Zay, what would you be doing?
Zay does always have those great ideas, man. But honestly, if this is probably a little too much for just like if I just met someone, but if I had someone that I was really new already, I like cooking, man. I would make a nice home cooked meal, maybe light some candles, have some chocolate, just a little night in, keep it simple, keep it cozy. But definitely a nice little meal, nothing that's too simple there. I'd make it whatever she likes, her favorite meal. Try to whip it up real quick.
Yep.
Get some and definitely some dessert. You gotta get some dessert too.
And my wife just texted me. Stop! I'm in the. I told you guys. I can't. I got to make sure I say this. I am in the closet for the episode for the podcasting. I'm in the our actual closet. Okay. And she just texted me. Get out of here. I'm trying to scream at her. She just texted me. I hope you are saying Valentine's with an N and not an M. So sometimes I say Valentine's, I guess. No, Valentine with an N. People don't want to hear this, man. We got listeners. They ain't trying to hear all this. They want to hear about the NBA. So,
and this is the NBA show.
This is the NBA show, right? And back to your point though, BG. Before we leave it, the way to a woman's heart or the way to a man's heart is through a stomach. I think the same thing with a woman, man. Ain't nothing like a good meal. Ain't nobody turning down a good meal. Trust. So, and I do hear about your culinary skills. So I like that, man. So that's coming up, man. And speaking of Valentine's Day, big time for Valentine's or Valentine's in general, when we're talking about the NBA, Valentine's to me, in my mind, and for the NBA, equals All-Star Weekend. So that is happening in 2 weeks. Fans, we'll have an extensive deep dive show in 2 weeks, all about the NBA All-Star Weekend. Then we'll add in a couple predictions and for the second half of the year, as well as some of our impressions through the first half in that episode. But that's a few weeks away. This episode will hit on, players and teams of the week last week, like we always do, which was week NBA 15. That was last week. And then we'll hit on the All-Star starters. Those were announced. We'll briefly go over that. Then we have a couple trade scenarios. A trade machine is coming out, people. So we're going to do that. We're each going to have a trade that we think has some playoff or possibly championship implications to it. So we're going to talk about those, which is very tough, by the way. I mean, I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it a little bit later. Like, first of all, trying to come up with a correct trade, also a trade that makes sense for both teams, and also a trade that is fiscally, it makes sense for both teams, is very tough. Like, I see why those guys are paid the big bucks. Like, it is not easy to do, but we'll at least give you players that we think, hey, if they were added to this team, we think they can make some noise adding that player. So we'll at least give you that, and then we'll finish with our top games of NBA Week 16, which we are currently in right now because this is Monday. So, fellas, I know you guys are ready. I'm ready. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about our best of. We're doing our best of last week, NBA Week 15. BG, we will begin with you. Shoot.
All right, I'm going to start with the best players of the week. In the East, this one, I kind of went a different route here. This guy, he was just came back off an ankle injury, so he was injured a little bit, been sitting out. If he's healthy, though, man, he's an all-star, but he's kind of been included in some trade talks lately. But I'm going to go with, for the Indiana Pacers in the East, I'm going to go with Domantas Sabonis. Did I say that right? Domantas Sabonis? Yeah, I mean,
I remember his pops, Arvidas. Y'all too young for that.
No,
I remember his pops.
But he had a great week, man. He played just this Friday. He had 24 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. And
he's a do-it-all player.
Yeah, and a win over the Thunder. I mean, if he's healthy, he's an all-star, man. And then Saturday night, he had 21 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, and a loss to the Mavs. That was a pretty big loss, but I mean, he's putting up numbers. He's a triple-double guy. Yeah. And I mean, 18 and 15 rebounds, he's special, man. He really is. In the West,
I'm telling you guys, I'm jumping ahead of you, BG. I'm sorry, but I'm telling y'all.
Go ahead.
You young players, you young people in general, or people that just have no clue about his pops, Arvidas Sabonis, like, he was nice. Like,
he played in the league?
He played in the league for the Blazers, Trailblazers.
What
I'm showing my age now. They are from, gosh, where are they from? I I don't know.
Where's our tech?
Oh, they're Lithuanian.
Okay,
bro. Yes, his
they got
father,
a good national team.
They do. They got a couple NBA players. But Arvydas, his father, he came over to the NBA late. You know what I mean? Like, this is a different time where like players didn't necessarily come right over. I think he came to the NBA after playing professionally overseas. He probably played professionally overseas for like 8 to 10 years and then came to the league. So he was like late 20s, early 30s when he came in. But I'm telling you, man, DeMontis plays a lot like his father Arvydas, where I mean the pass game was there. He could rebound, he could shoot a little bit. I'm telling you, check him out. His pops was 7'3", 292 pounds. So he was actually drafted. He was drafted in the '86 draft. He was in the first round. He's 24th pick, but I think he went overseas. He went back to overseas, played a little bit, and then actually came over to the NBA later in his career. But he was nice, bro. I'm telling you.
I did mention too, he is involved in trade talk, so that might be a little spoiler for later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go out west. I'm gonna go with. I know this guy's been talked about. Zay's brought him up. It is about due time that I gave him, his loving as well. But the hottest team in the NBA right now, man, are the Suns, and Chris Paul, man, he just continues to ball. So he's my player in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CP3 last week on Monday night, the 24th, he went 27, 9, and 13 with a win over the Jazz. Mm-hmm. Wednesday night, he had 21, 3, and 5. So kind of a low-key night with another win over the Jazz. Friday night, 21, 10, and 14, triple-double with a win over the Timberwolves. Then Sunday night, he had 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 19 assists.
Yep.
And a win over the Spurs.
Yep. 19
assists. I mean, he's got to be mentioned more in the top point guards of all time talk. I feel like he gets a little disrespected because he's probably the last.
But he can ball,
but he's kind of the last true point guard. He doesn't really do the scoring. He gets his teammates involved, and he's an assist guy. And I mean, he's balling out. So he's my player of the week in the West there.
I love it. Zay, what you got for us? Or you want me to go? It's up to you.
No, we good. So,
okay,
and yeah, Chris Paul is balling. He is balling. Last week, I mentioned it. Definitely one of the hottest, most efficient players in the NBA right now.
Facts.
And he's showing it week after week, day after day for team who is the best team in the NBA right now. So hats off to him. But my players, I'm gonna stay in the West right now. I'm gonna start with my Western Conference Player of the Week, and that is Karl Anthony Towns. So
you stole one from me, Zay. I love it though. He's deserving.
Yes, he is deserving. Playing on a Minnesota team that's been battling in different type of ways, but I mean, they're still fighting. They're still fighting. He had 31 and 11 in his last game, shooting 75% from 3. And then he also posted a game up against the best team in the NBA, the Suns, where he went 23 and 9 in the 10-point loss. And also against the Warriors, another one of the top teams in the NBA, 31 and 12. So 30, and that's 12 rebounds, so 3 double-doubles last week out of 4 games. Definitely hats off to him. He balling right now. And actually, I failed to mention, he actually had a triple-double in his game yesterday evening with 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists with only 1 turnover as a big man. And that's impressive right there. He balling, and I'm sure Minnesota, they always fight toward the end. I don't know if they'll be a playoff team, but they could definitely wreak some havoc for those borderline teams toward the end of the year. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. For my Eastern Conference Player of the Week, I'm going with Jimmy Buckets. Because last week he was getting buckets. He had a triple-double in their triple overtime loss against the Raptors. But he posted 37 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists in that game. And in the game before that against the Clippers, went 26 with 9 assists. And then on Wednesday of last week, he had a 22-point outing. I think he's leading that team right now, the Miami Heat. Although he's ruled out against the game, or tonight's game against the Celtics, but I'm sure when he comes back, he's going to give it his all. So hats off to him. Jimmy Buckets, Eastern Conference Player of the Week.
Jimmy Buckets, yeah, man. You guys got some good ones. Like, we talked about it between us three earlier today. Like, we try to give you guys, listeners, we try to give you some variety. We don't want to always talk about the same guys, because there are a couple guys, namely like a Joel Embiid or Devin Booker, who we'll talk about a little bit later. Like, there are guys like those guys that they could be players of the week every single week. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, they are putting up those type of numbers. But we try to give you guys, variety. We try to diversify who we're shouting out, players that we think are, just in general having good weeks, having the last few games they played, they're playing well. So we try to show you guys variety, and it's not always the easiest, but that's our job. So that's why we do it. So I'm going to be able to. Let me see. I'm gonna start in the East. Like, I got actually two players in the East really quickly. One guy we all know about. We talked about him before. He was my number one player in my 2017 redraft. I'm talking Jason Tatum. He balled out last week. The Boston Celtics, they're also going to be my team of the week. So I'm going to talk about them a little bit later. But just in general, Jason Tatum, man, last week, he just had a phenomenal week. The team is winning at the right time, and it's a lot because of Jason Tatum. Last week he had games of 36 points, 20 points, and 38 points. He's been really efficient. He's been shooting the ball well. He's been rebounding well. And back to BG's point from last week, he said, hey, he would be ranked higher in his 2017 redraft if he was able to assist the ball a little bit more. Well, guess what? That's what he's been doing. I feel like that's a focus of his, and maybe he's listening to this show. I don't know. BG, maybe he could be listening to this show because last week, he had games of 6 assists, 4 assists, 7 assists, 5 assists, and this is on top of rebounding the ball. He had a game last week where he rebounded the ball. He had 12 rebounds in that game. So, and then shooting the three, he's doing that efficiently for the most part. Shooting a high number of threes, maybe a little too much for my liking personally, but if he's shooting it the way he's shooting it, keep shooting it. You know what I mean? So, and this is coming off of what he had last Sunday, which officially wasn't a part of last week, but last Sunday he had a 51 piece. So, he's a scoring machine again. That's why he was number one in my 2017 redraft. And then the second player in the East I want to highlight is, I want you guys to listen. You guys know his brother, but now we're talking about him. Franz Wagner. Yes, I'm saying that correctly. Franz Wagner, rookie, plays for the Orlando Magic. And the Magic are also one of the teams that I strongly consider for my team of the week. I know that sounds weird. It sounds crazy. You don't think it all. How can a team with what do they have? 11 wins total. How can they potentially be a team of the week? That last week they went 3-1. So they're doing something well. And I'm telling you, this cat, Wagner, his brother Mo, but Franz, I think he's a much better player. And again, I think he has true potential to win Rookie of the Year. Like, he's top 3 right now between him, Cade Cunningham. You could probably name another guy. But last week, Wagner, he had games of, if my phone would actually load, he had games of 21 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, and that was against the Clippers. Then he turned right around against the Pistons. He had 24 points, 3 rebounds. He actually was 8 for 8 from the free throw line there and shot 2 or 3 from the 3-point line. And then he turned right around against the Mavericks at 18 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and was 9 of 15 from the floor there. So I definitely want to shout him out. His game has really impressed me. He's a player that didn't really go super high in the draft. Wasn't a lot of notoriety that follow his name, but he's showing out. He's showing that he is here to stay. Trust me, that young boy can play. And then out on the West, Zay, man, it's funny. You actually took my guy, Big Cat. But I can always find another guy because a lot of really good players playing a lot of really good ball. A guy that I have my eye on, he actually just came back from injury, and we're talking CJ McCollum. Like, McCollum coming off of the injury he just had, it seems like he hasn't even missed a beat the way he's been playing, especially last week. So this pulls up, man. I mean, he's been shooting the ball really well. We know that from CJ. I mean, that's what he does. You can expect that. But also, he's been doing a much better job of facilitating. He's been doing a much better job of just having an all-around game in terms of also rebounding and playing much better defense. So, I mean, he would be, CJ McCollum would be my Western Conference Player of the Week last week. And again, in the games he just came back from, he had totals of 20 points, 26 points, 29 points. And then again, like I said, he's well-rounded with this game, averaging about 5 rebounds per game last week and then about 5.5 assists per game last week. And he's asked to do a lot without Dame Lillard being in the lineup. So those are my guys. Those are our guys for the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference Players of the Week. Now let's round it and let's get to the teams. BG, shoot.
All right, so I'm going to start with the East here for my team of the week. It's kind of unfortunate because they did end up losing tonight, but I'll get to that in a second. But I went with the Atlanta Hawks. Before tonight, they won 7 straight games after going on a 5-game skid before that. So they have wins over the Bucks, so that's a pretty good win. The Timberwolves, another team that's kind of hot right now. The Heat, the Hornets, the Kings, and the Celtics, and the Lakers. And one of those 7 wins in that 7-game win streak was under 7 points. I think they had a 1 win by 7, 1 win by 8 or 9, and then the rest of them, I think 5 of them were double digits. A couple blowouts too.
It was acting silly.
Yeah, so they were balling, Trey's balling, they were getting healthy. I think they had some injuries, so they got a couple guys back. Right now they're sitting in the 10th spot, and they are currently 2 games out of that 8th spot in the East. And they did end up losing to the Raptors tonight in a close game, 106-100. But before tonight, I made my pick before tonight, but they are my team of the East, or team of the week in the East there.
Yeah, and that's last week again, people. So technically tonight, I guess, doesn't really count if you're talking about
that's
last
true.
NBA,
True.
NBA week 15. So you're right about that. And they're one of those teams too that on paper they should be much better than what they are, because they have so many scorers, so many guys. If you give them the ball and just get out of the heck up out of their way, they're gonna get you a bucket. But I think that's also, especially early on in the season when you're dealing with injury, you don't know, who you can necessarily count on outside of Trae Young. You're trying to develop that pecking order. I think it's tough for a team like that to try to figure out, okay, we got all these injuries, we got all these guys that can, when they are playing, they can get a bucket for us, but when they're not, we have to find other guys. It's like, how do we dictate who's going to be that guy outside of just Trae Young? And I think they kind of dealt with that, but now I think they're starting to come around a little bit, because they are a team that they really do have a lot of talent. But also there's only one basketball. So I think that also makes it tough for a team like the Hawks. But right now, currently, they're playing well. And again, we talked about it. They're playing well at the right time. So I like that, BG.
Yeah, definitely. They're going into break on a little roll here. So hopefully they can pick up some other ones. I mean, it's hard in the NBA to 7 straight wins. It's hard to keep that rolling. But when you look at the West, man, this was tough. But there's some good teams in the West, some teams that are on some streaks right now. I picked the Phoenix Suns last week. They still have, or the previous episode, they still haven't lost since I picked them. But I'm gonna go with the Golden State Warriors for my team of the West. They're sitting in that 2nd spot right now, 3 games back of the Phoenix Suns, but they're 38-13. They have 5 straight wins over the Rockets, the Jazz, the Mavs, the Timberwolves, the Nets. But that was all at home. And I actually think they might have played. No, I don't think they played tonight. But yeah, 5 straight wins.
They did. They played the Rockets tonight.
The Rockets, 6 straight wins. They won. They won. So they have 6 straight wins now. And I mean, they're doing this. The reason why I picked them isn't because of 6 straight wins. They're doing this with, Clay getting back in the lineup, getting comfortable. Steph hasn't been playing great, hasn't been shooting great. Draymond's been out, and they're still winning because they're role guys, man. They got they got probably the best role guys in the league right now. Guys like Wiggins, who we'll talk about later on, making an all-star start, his first all-star appearance. Jordan Poole, from, local kid from, well, not local, but La Lemire High School out of LaPorte here. Gary Payton
I did not know that.
Yeah, he went to La Lemire.
Right.
Gary Payton Gary Payton II, sorry. And then Otto Porter Jr., when he's healthy and in the lineup, he's doing big things for him too. So they're really doing it by committee, and it's kind of surprising me. And that's kind of, I went with them for a different reason from the wins. I mean, they are winning, but I went with them for how they're winning and who they're winning with. And that's impressing me. So when they get healthy, man, I mean, Phoenix is hot, but Phoenix
that was
and
my
Golden
question.
State, wow.
That was my question. Can they surpass the Suns, in your opinion? Can they surpass the Suns and get outright home court advantage?
I don't know.
3 games behind right now. 2 games.
I don't know if
3 games behind the Suns. Currently.
With them being injured, with their injuries and stuff like that, I don't think they'll surpass them. But
and do they even want to?
That might be a 7-game series. I mean, that might be a 7-game series.
Yeah. If it's not, I would actually be surprised. Those 2 teams play, the Suns and the Warriors, if it doesn't go past 6 games.
And that series, there's not much traveling going on. I mean, they're a couple hours from each other. So
short little flight on the jet. You know what I mean? Zay, what you got? Teams of the week.
You know about that flight on the jet?
No. The clear port. No, that ain't me.
I'm staying in the East because something is definitely going on right now in the state of Ohio. Bengals, shout out to them making it to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And the Cleveland Cavaliers that actually sneaking up on teams. And the reason being is because they take care of the games they need to take care of. So right now, the 30-20 Cleveland Cavaliers currently have the 4th best record in the NBA when facing teams under 500. So they're 17-5 with 7 straight wins when playing teams under 500. And last week, they dropped the game yesterday to Detroit, but tonight they got the W against New Orleans. But we look back at week 15.
They play the Bucks.
Defeated Milwaukee. Yeah, they defeated Milwaukee.
Yes, sir.
And they defeated the Knicks. Those are 2 big wins. 2 big wins over teams that are the Knicks. Yeah, so. But the Bucks, like last week, I was just talking about how they could compete for an NBA championship, and they still can. But these Cavaliers, they're getting the confidence beating teams that they should beat, and that's helping them play in these big games. So hats off to them for sure.
Yeah, and I think they actually just tonight they completed their 5th home win in a row. So
yes,
they're one of the, to me, like that kind of goes to your point. You beat the teams you should beat, number one, and then when you at home, when you at the crib on your home floor, you get the job done.
So looking at their record right here, they're 16-9 at home, and they're 15-11 at on the road.
That's impressive.
It's impressive with a young team too. I think Rajon Rondo, he's a big difference maker on that team, being the veteran presence they need. And I feel like he is a really good go-to mentor for Darius Garland as well, who's already a budding superstar. But every superstar, just like Devin Booker, kind of looks up to Chris Paul. Darius Garland, he has somebody on the court night after night that he could look up to, ask questions, and all that stuff. And I think that's paying dividends for the Cleveland Cavs. So not saying that they're going to go out and win an NBA championship, but that, handling those games that they should handle.
They can make some noise, man.
That can build up.
Especially if you can play well at home.
Definitely. So, and for my Western Conference team of the week, I'm going with the Denver Nuggets. So the Denver Nuggets, 28-21 last week, they took care of business as well. They've won 5 straight games, 2 against Detroit, but they've also beaten Brooklyn and Milwaukee in that stretch as well. So that just tells me these guys are coming to ball. Jokic is doing his thing, and the reigning undisputed MVP is definitely, like I said,
reigning champ with the belt on.
Yeah, 27 points a game on 59, 42, and 97 shooting, and he's averaging 12.4 rebounds and 10 assists. And they have won 5, like as mentioned, 5 straight games, and enter top 10 in offensive efficiency. So they getting it done, and they don't even rank top 10 in 3-point percentage on the year yet. So they really working down teams, and as the year goes on, and bodies start getting tired and all that good stuff, I think that could make a difference. This could be a team that could surprise people and make it to the NBA championship.
Yep. And my question with them is there a chance that Jamal Murray can make a return? Because he injured his ACL last year, correct?
Yeah.
Last season. Okay.
Who knows?
Who knows? When you got an MVP, I mean, you always have a chance.
Definitely.
Always. BG, you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was looking at that actually in my fantasy league. They mentioned that he was scheduled to come back for like contact and stuff like that, but I think he got quarantined.
Okay. Wow.
So it kind of limited it. So
yeah, I'm thinking back to the Rams, talking about football and just injuries and how miraculous some of these things can be. Cam Akers, the LA Rams running back, I think he tore his Achilles like 6 months ago, like right before the season began, and he's back in the playoffs playing legitimate football, a starting running back for him. So there was a time where you tore your Achilles, you were out, your career was over. Like it was over. Like there was nothing we could do. Like you are done. Like there's no more sports for you. Like hang it up. But Cam Akers, he's a guy that, turned it right around, and 6 months later is playing in the Super Bowl. And so a guy like Jamal Murray, coming off the ACL, man, that stuff happens quick with the medicine and the doctors and surgeries and things they have now, the rehab they have now. So that's impressive, man. So yeah, that'll be intriguing to see with the Nuggets if they can get him back. But like you said, Zay, the Nuggets, they have the ability. I know people think of them as this high-flying team, and yeah, they can score, but they have this ability to lock down when they really want to, especially if they get you in that mile-high air, man. How you holding your chest, man. How you gasping for air. Like, it's different up there. So, Cool, man. Let me get to mine, man. I talked about the East, the Celtics, and the Magic. Yeah, it's not that sexy, but we like I said, we want to diversify. We want to give you guys different teams, different players that we want to highlight. Both of those teams went 3-1 last week, talking about the Celtics and the Magic. And mainly the Celtics, again, I mean, they're getting healthy at the right time, number one, and they're playing well at the right time, going right into the All-Star break. And the Celtics right now, currently, they are 9th in the East. Yes, 9th in the East. They're 2 games behind the Toronto Raptors. I would be surprised if the Celtics are not in the top 8 when the season ends. I would be highly surprised. Magic, I can't say the same. They're at the bottom of the East, but again, I got to highlight them when they actually have a good week. 3-1 last week, and they only have 11 wins on the season. So, a fourth of their wins came in 1 week, which was last week. My team of the West, I gotta go to LA, man. And I ain't talking about LeBron. I ain't talking about AD, street clothes. I ain't gonna call him that because I don't like disrespecting players. I'm not talking about AD. Westbrook. Westbrook was actually the player that I was considering for player of the week because he's been way more efficient. But their team was just so bad, man. It's so hard to go with
he had to do something with Miles Bridges calling him out like that.
Yes,
I like it last week.
yeah.
Rookie call you out.
This has been a season. Let's say that for my man Westbrook. But the team I'm talking about, man, is the team across town, right? In LA. We're talking about the LA Clippers. Last week they went 3-1, correct? Yes, they went 3-1 as well. They had wins over the Wizards, the Magic, the Hornets. And then their only loss last week was against the Heat. So, I mean, the team from LA traveling all the way to the East, playing, having a little Eastern Conference stretch. They go 3-1. Again, they don't have their highest paid players do not play for them right now. Paul George is out with the elbow injury. Kawhi Leonard, ACL. So you're counting on God, Mr. October. Reggie Jackson. You count on Reggie Jackson. You're counting on Luke Kennard, who had a heck of a game winner last week against the Wizards. That really sparked their week last week. I think they were down in that game against the Wizards 25 points. And your boy Luke Kennard had a 4-point play to win that game last week. And that really sparked them last week to get things rolling. Then they beat the Magic, like I said, and they beat the Hornets. But with Luke Kennard, with Reggie Jackson, with Marcus Morris, was even a guy like Zubac. Like, it's a collection of misfits, like guys that aren't that quote unquote sexy on paper. You don't think they're really going to get much done, but again, 3-1 last week, and they are now seventh. Yes, I said that, 7th in the West. Talking about the LA Clippers. So that's my team of the week. Does that wrap it up for us in terms of teams and players of the week? Best of.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yes, sir. I love that segment because, again, we get a chance to, as fans, because we're fans first and foremost, we get a chance as fans and hosts of this show to talk about what has impressed us the most. What have you done for us lately? At the end of the day, that's what pro sports are all about. So these teams, those players have impressed us the most lately. So we got to give them a shout out. Quickly, we're going to talk about we had a nice little announcement. We had the All-Star starters announced in the East. The Eastern team, the Eastern starters, we had Joel Embiid, Giannis, Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan, and Trae Young. And then in the West, we had Jokic, we had LeBron James, we had Steph Curry, we had Ja Morant, and we had Andrew Wiggins. Now for the West, their coach will be Monty Williams. The coach is determined by who has a top seed. The team that has a top seed, their coach coaches the All-Star team in their respective conferences. The Suns, they've already wrapped that up. Like, they've wrapped that up 3 weeks in advance. So that's crazy to even think about. So Monty Williams will be the coach of the West team. The East, not so fast, my friend. They don't have a coach just yet because they're still trying to figure out the pecking order of who would actually be the top seed. I would imagine it could be Eric Spoelstra.
Chicago right now. Based on winning percentage of Chicago.
Oh, based on winning percentage. Yeah. Okay, because Chicago is 63.3%. In Miami, they're 62.7%. So, and then Doc Rivers, a little note that I thought was important. Doc Rivers is actually ineligible because the Sixers are number 3 right now in the East. He's ineligible to be the Eastern coach because he was the Eastern coach last year. So they don't make you do it twice, which makes sense because maybe he want to go on vacation with his family. He ain't trying to, do the All-Star thing again. So quickly, guys, run through it because, again, we have a mega show in a couple weeks talking about the All-Star break and all that and all the great things that come along with that. But just in general, you guys heard these starters. What stuck out to you the most? Talk about the Wiggins. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That was a tough one for me.
How's Booker not a starter?
That's the thing. So they went with 3 front court players. Kevin Durant, Giannis. That's the East. Sorry, they went with 3 front court players: LeBron, Jokic. They have Wiggins as a front court player. But I don't understand why you can't have 3 guards instead. And you got the Suns just roasting everybody and dominating the league, and you're gonna leave a guy like Devin Booker off the All-Star starters. I would replace, if I could, Devin Booker with Andrew Wiggins in the West, and then I think that makes the West better than the East starters. Obviously, Durant's not gonna play in the game, so if you look at the front court there, Jason Tatum is actually the next player based on fan voting. So if Jason Tatum takes the Durant spot in the East, so let's say you have in the East Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, DeRozan, Trae Young, and then the West you have Jokic, LeBron. I wish it was Booker over Wiggins, Steph, and Ja. That's
Wiggins gonna get MVP. Watch, I'm telling you, Wiggins gonna buy. You don't think so?
I have a pick for. We'll talk about it. But right now,
early pick.
I think my man Embiid is hungry for something, man. He wants a big man. When's the last time a big man won it? Shaq.
That's true.
Shaq, maybe.
Yeah, sounds about right. I don't know.
We'd have to look that up. But But also, here's another little slight thing on Wiggins, though. I mean, he didn't stay there very long, but the games in Cleveland, Wiggins #1 overall pick in Cleveland before he got traded. Yeah, maybe that's a reach, but
Dirk was
nice
the last quote-unquote big man. 2007.
Okay. It's been a while then.
Yeah, it's been a long time. No, I'm taking it back. When was the last big man to win MVP? No, never mind. I put All-Star. Disregard that, fans. Here we go. Who is one All-Star? You guys can continue to talk. I mean, Giannis, I don't really count him as a big man, even though he's bigger than life.
I'm talking center. Go center.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal, 2009. That would be it. Shaq.
Wow.
Shaq
2009.
2009. So what's that? 12, 13 years ago, man. Long time.
Yeah.
And in that game, Shaq had 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists.
It must have been a homecoming or something.
Oh, he was a co-MVP. Him and Kobe.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I remember that game. Shaq, he was acting like it was like a Shaq comedy show.
Yeah.
Buckets.
Yeah, that's where he was doing that dance in the practice. Yeah, and then he had the Jabberwocky, like the mask on and all that. I think that's when they kind of him and Kobe kind of had their reconciliation.
I have a
question. There. Yeah,
I have a question.
But Shaq did win it in 2004 as well. Before that, sorry. Yeah.
I mean, at what point do you look at the Wiggins thing? I mean, is it like at what point do you stop giving the fans the power? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the thing. We talked about that earlier. At some point, the NBA got to step in and say, "Look, enough is enough. Come on now." Like, I don't see how Devin Booker is not an NBA He is a complete definition of what an NBA All-Star starter should be. Their team is 40-9, overall #1 seed. And BG, you said it earlier, and I was totally blown away by this. Neither of the #1 overall seeds right now have an NBA All-Star starter.
Well, unless you count Chicago, but Miami was #1 at the time we spoke. So
right. If things ended right now, I mean, Miami, they don't have a starter. But I mean, the biggest travesty is obviously the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker. Devin Booker, I don't even have to pull up his stats right now. I mean, he's averaging close to 30. Like, him and CP3 are the. Okay, I'm gonna say this. This is really an argument for it. If you had to choose a top five players in the NBA right now, MVP odds, Devin Booker's in that top 5. So how can he be top 5 MVP candidate right now, but is not top 5 in his own conference? You talk about starters. And to me, Booker and Wiggins play the exact same position. So don't give it to the guy. Don't give it to the guy that is, he's deserving Wiggins of possibly an all-star slot, but he's not deserving of being a starter over Devin Booker, when to me it's just a technicality that ended up putting Wiggins over Booker for the starter. They're the same player. They're the same size. They basically play the same positions on the floor, and Booker is 2 times the player that Wiggins is. But because you say that Wiggins is a quote-unquote front court player, what's the difference in their game? What makes Wiggins a front court player over Booker? Like, you can tell how heated I am. Like, this is crazy to me. Like, so I'm telling you, man, Booker, players need things to motivate them and give them extra motivation. They already lost the championship last year. We're talking about the Suns. I'm telling you, man, they're going to come back with a vengeance this year. Like, I'm not trying to step in front of Devin Booker and the Suns this year, especially after something like this. It may seem trivial, it may seem small to us fans, but I'm telling you, these players, they take heed to that. Like, they don't like that stuff. Like, to me, that is very disrespectful. You say, put this guy Wiggins over me because of a technicality, because he plays front court, quote unquote. Bro, we play the same position. Like, what? It's crazy, man. I'm getting heated over here. Which, I mean, I don't know. You guys answer it, man. NBA, you got to answer for this. This don't make no sense.
No, it don't make sense at all. And I agree. Wiggins, I think, and I mentioned this earlier, I think it has more to do with the team he's from and the base, like you said, the fan vote. But it definitely has a big factor to do with him being like a Golden State player. You know, I feel like clearly. Been since their prominence, you know, when they were dominating year in and year out, they've always gotten a little bit of more of a nudge than other teams anyway. And like, yeah, I agree. The fan vote is, you know, like the NBA is riding off of that, and because the dollars really do drive these type of things. But I mean, at the end of the day, the NBA can look at it and be like, hey, we don't care what the fans think about this.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, I don't want this to be a shot at Andrew Wiggins, because I'm sure if you would ask Andrew Wiggins, should he be the starter over Booker? I bet he would say, no, I should not. Booker, take my spot, please. Because he probably got to deal with a whole bunch of extra heat that he really didn't even ask for, man, which sucks for a player like him. But shout out to him, because I do remember him being the number one pick, like most of you guys do. I remember LeBron in his letter, I'm coming home. He didn't include Wiggins, and then the next day or two, Wiggins was up out of there. He was traded as a number one pick. So, and now they're about to play together in the NBA All-Star game. So I do kind of want to see their interactions, you know, being named starters together. So I think that'd be cool, man. Again, fans. Yeah, BG, what you got for us, man?
Here you go. I got the stats for you. So you got Booker averaging 25 points, 5.5 rebounds, 4.4 assists. He's shooting 38% from three, 44% from the field, 86% from the free throw line. Then you got Wiggins, 18 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 41.4% from three. So that's actually better than Booker. I'm sure Booker's shooting more though. 48% from the field, which is a little better than Booker. 66% from the free throw line.
Bro, those are his career stats.
So it's like,
those are Wiggins' career. That his stats this year that you just read off. That's what he's been doing since he's been in the league. He's been about an 18 to 20 point scorer. He's not gonna give you a bunch of rebounds, even though he's a quote unquote front court player. I'm about to get mad again. Even though he's a quote unquote front court player, but he only gives you about 4 rebounds a game. He don't assist the ball a lot, and clearly he's not asked to do that in Golden State. And his field goal percent now, he's been shooting the 3 ball much better this year. So I got to give him credit there. But 66% from the free throw line and 48% from the field. Like, I mean, that's pretty much what he's done all his career.
So you mentioned that he's actually 1 point less. He's 1.2 points less this year than compared to his career. He's averaging 0.1 less rebounds. He's averaging 0.2 less assists. But his free throw percentage is worse. But his 3-point percentage is 7% better. And his field goal percentage is 4% better. You look at Booker, he's averaging 2 more points compared to his career. He's averaging almost 2 more rebounds compared to his career. Same amount of assists, better 3-point percentage, and 1 percentage worse field goal percent shooting. So, I mean, where's the reasoning behind this? You gotta,
It's the fan vote. It's exactly what it is. It's the fan vote. We're not even gonna twist it up. It's the fan vote, and the NBA needs to be able to step in and do something in a scenario like this, because it doesn't help the league. It doesn't help the actual players. Like, I think it kind of puts Wiggins in a bad spot, to be completely honest. And then of course for Booker, it puts him in a bad spot. So I don't think it's good for anyone. In the NBA, I mean, they're already a huge league, so it's not like they need more publicity, right? I mean, they don't necessarily need this. To me, Wiggins, he should have been an all-star because he has played much better, and he's just, the fit has worked out. And storylines do matter in the NBA, whether we like it or not, and I like it. I mean, it's a reason why a lot of people love the NBA, because there are a lot of storylines outside of what happens between the white lines. But Wiggins should not be an all-star starter. But shout out to him. I'm glad it's happening for him. But if it's my league, I got to step in and say, we got to do something about this. There's no way the number one team, their number one player, is not an all-star starter over a guy that is basically has his same career stats that he's had his entire career, where he's never been an all-star. So, and
here's another interesting fact. I found this little image here that kind of had how the rankings went, the voting results. So they have player rank, they have fan rank, they have media rank, and they have their weighted score. And the lower score you want, the better. So Wiggins in the front court was actually ranked by the media as the 6th best front court player. He got the 3rd highest fan rank, and his player rank was 5th. So he had a weighted score of 4.25. And if you look at Devin Booker's, his weighted score ended up being 4.25 as well. But he's in the guards, and for some reason, they're doing 3 front court guys and only 2 guards. You know, I don't get
it's
it.
It's hilarious. Yeah. All right, let's do this.
I want to go real quick.
Yeah, get it, Zay. We've already hit the point, so let's just keep it going. Why not? It don't even matter. Like, fans, thank you for listening again. Go for it.
It was actually something funny that came up in my head. I wanted to say it before I lost it, but if it was your league, you know, that might be a topic we do in the later shows, like what rules we would make for our own NBA association.
I got a 4-point play automatically.
Oh yeah, that definitely got to be it.
I got an
Cool
interesting little thing for an All-Star weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do 3 versus 3. You got to represent your college.
Yeah, trying to sneak a way to get the Duke Blue Devils in there, huh?
Hey, Duke versus Kentucky, man. Come on. Kentucky's got some dogs, man.
Yep.
Talk about
Kansas.
Booker.
Talk about Wiggins, Kansas. Your Booker went to Kentucky. So I know Kansas because they have Embiid, Wiggins. Who else? I mean, there's a lot of, even some of those small schools, like a couple small schools that you look up, it's like, wow, they do have a couple players. That'd be kind of cool. Let's think of some ideas, man. Let's think of some ideas. Definitely come back with some, but I mean, that's a beautiful thing about podcasts and about doing these shows. Like, we can print the floor is open. We can do whatever we would like. So, Zay, I'm not used to not seeing your picture up here, man. It's kind of weird, but do what you got to do, man. I'm not seeing any of you guys. Now I feel like the NBA and the are you eating right now? Is that a waffle? Zay is eating chicken and waffles right now. Are you doing it with hot sauce or some syrup? Don't worry about it, man. You got a mouthful of food. Don't worry about it. And then BG is actually. Oh, okay. That sounds good. Too bad you can't send some through Zoom. That'd be kind of cool, man. And then BG is actually, I think he's driving right now. Or are you parked?
No, I'm back home, but I'm still on the phone, so I just kept it.
You got the heat on? Heat on in the car?
Oh no, I'm in the house now. I'm chilling in the bedroom.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were committed to the show, man. I thought like you were outside, like freezing, but you still said, I'm gonna get it done, man. I'm doing this for the fans. Now you in the house, in the comfort of your own home. I get it. Okay.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, I am committed, man. I'm sitting here. I haven't eaten since about noon, 11 a.m. So.
Zay's like, hey, too bad for you. You better go eat something, man. Press mute. I'm the one doing 75% of the talking. Press mute.
Yeah, no, I had to get something in my system real quick.
I've been on a water diet for the last hour, man. I'm hungry too. Yeah. But no, BG, dude, we'll make it quick, man. We'll wrap things up. So
no, you're good. You're good.
I know. We're having
Let's talk about trades. Let's talk about trades.
Talk about trades. Yes. Okay. Trades. Let's talk about trades. So again, quickly, this is very tough. Like fans, if you listen to the NBA Coach T NBA show, you listen to the Coach T college football show, you listen to the Coach T NFL show, you listen to the Coach T whatever the heck we want to do next, you're gonna realize, like, I try to be very honest, like, this is very hard to do. And I mentioned it earlier, the reasons why. Okay. But we're gonna try to give you guys some players and some potential trades that have playoff and possibly championship implications if they were to happen. So BG, we'll begin with you. The fans understand that, yeah, we're not experts and we're not GMs for a reason, even though we maybe feel like we could be GMs, but we're not GMs for a reason, not yet at least. But we want to give you guys at least a little something, kind of gets into our thinking and, you know, where we think the NBA season could go if these trades do potentially happen. So BG, you're up first.
All right, so I was looking at some of the trade rumors and things like that, and this trade has not been connected to each other, but I thought about two guys that they're on a team in the East, and their team is in the bottom of the East right now, and they have been in, you know, some talks about possibly being on the trading block. And I thought about a team that could use those players, that has some assets that they can trade. And I'm gonna go with my player of the East, player of the week in the East, Domantas Sabonis or Miles Turner to the Chicago Bulls.
And not only same conference, but same division. Okay.
Same division. And the Bulls got assets like Patrick Williams, Kobe White, Ayo,
Kobe,
hometown boy. But I was looking at the trade rumors and they were saying that the Bulls could use somebody that can defend inside, that can defend maybe Giannis if they can make it, that far in the East. And Miles Turner is a great rim protector. I know he's got a slight foot injury right now, but he should be back before the year's over. So that kind of helps maybe drop his value a little bit. Maybe they can squeeze one out there. But man, if they could land Sabonis, man, oh man.
Yep, I love that. Zay, you got anything? Again, these are tough. Like I'm still racking my brain as to who I think, what trades can potentially happen, and what are the better options? Because there are a lot of players, a lot of options.
So I think, and to that exact point is why, I'm not sure what trade, if the trade actually went through. But I think one of the most valuable shops right now is Ben Simmons. If the Sixers trade him for the right pieces, they can instantly become front runners for an NBA championship. And it's not like Ben Simmons, yes, we all get on Ben Simmons. Yeah, he hasn't developed his jump shot and all that. But, he's still a solid point guard. This just isn't his situation in Philadelphia. So if they could trade him, which I'm sure if he got traded to, I seen the Kings, that's a little off, but, just if he got traded to, per se, and this definitely wouldn't happen, but a Lakers or somewhere along the Western Conference.
I gotta about to say school. And sorry guys, you guys know I hate cutting people off with the Zoom. Sometimes it's hard to interject, and so BGZ, sorry for that. But hey, you brought up a good point. Somewhere around the West, what about a Ben Simmons to Golden State? Does that sound good? You got a James Wiseman, the former number 2 pick, right? Top 3 pick from last year. You got Jonathan Kuminga, another top pick from this year. I don't know. Maybe even a Draymond.
And then you think, if the Sixers did make a trade like that, then you could take Steph Curry off the ball in some situations, some late game situations. And you got Clay, Curry, and then, even Draymond with a cleanup 3. But that's a lot to guard in the NBA right there. Yeah. On the last play, you got to get a stop.
You got passers, rebounders, and defenders with Draymond and Simmons. And then on top of that,
let them put Andre Iguodala on the floor.
Right. And then they got all them screens for them shooters, man, them Splash Brothers. So,
yeah.
I don't know the potential of it, but again, something like that would be, you talk about playoff implication. No, we talking about championship implications if that were to happen. BG?
Yeah, I got a question for Zay on that one. He mentioned, you mentioned Ben Simmons. You mentioned, he's still one of the top point guards in the league. If you're a GM, are you really winning a championship with Ben Simmons as your point guard? Is that how you would play him?
I see him as like a Draymond. That's why I thought about Golden State. But I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, he's definitely not not one of the better point guards in the league, but he is a valuable piece to be traded. And I think the Sixers, from a trading perspective, now if he ended up on the Warriors, then the Warriors definitely win that trade. But if, from a Sixers perspective, they are teetering right there between could be competitive, could be not. I think right now with the team they have, they're a second round exit. But, with the right trade in the right situation, they can, Ben Simmons, he could make or break a team. He's not going to make or break the Kings. But,
no, he needs other pieces around him. But if you have good other pieces around him, he can, at his best, Ben Simmons, at his best, if you talk about playing defense, you talk about rebounding. Again, has he won a defensive player of the year? I think he won that last year. Maybe not. Maybe Draymond won that, but he's been a top 2 guy for the last 2 to 3 years. So he can play defense, he can rebound, he can run the floor. Like, he's in great shape. So the only thing he can't do is shoot the ball outside of the paint. But other than that, like, if he's not your dominant main ball handler, if he's kind of in the mode, and I keep bringing him up, but Draymond Green, to me, you can make it work, because now you can accentuate his pluses, which are, again, playing defense, rebounding the basketball, passing the ball. He's a great passer. If you ask him to, be a secondary, maybe a third ball handler, and just only look to push it in transition, or, get rebounds, kick it to somebody up, and then now he's catching it on the back end and finishing, I think that can work out. But him as your main quote unquote point guard, we see that experiment that's over. That's a wrap.
Is he willing to accept that role?
He better. To me, you're gonna have to. To me, this is, I would hope, okay, and I hope we got the right people in his ear, but I would hope this is a learning opportunity for that young man. Again, he's still very young, extremely young. I don't think he's 24 yet, 25 yet. I mean, he's extremely young man. I would hope that the right people are around him to say, hey, through all the situation, you gotta be able to learn from, whether it's your mistakes, whether it's other people's mistakes. You got to be able to learn from these scenarios. You still getting paid millions of dollars to play a sport, to play professional basketball, okay? And they're still paying you, and teams still want you. You still should look at yourself and say, yes, teams want me, teams are still paying me, I'm making a bunch of money, yada yada, I'm living out my dream. But there's still things that I can work on personally, on the court, off the court. Okay, and we're talking about on the court, there's things that he can work on. So if that means that working on your jump shot, so be it. If that's something that he never gets better at, though, the one thing he can work on is understanding that that's not my strength. That means I can't be on the ball as much. That means I need to do other things. That means I'm not that quote unquote quintessential point guard. That means I need to be able to, whatever team I'm playing with, I need to be able to morph my game. Because the way things happen, the reason why the Sixers want to get rid of me is because they don't see me as a true point guard in today's league. So you got to learn from it.
Here's another interesting one I'm just going to throw out there. And I mean, this is going to sound real wacky, but would you consider doing this if you're either one of these teams? Ben Simmons for Zion Williamson.
Let me see. Ben Simmons. So
you got a guy who's been injured.
Yep.
I mean,
Keep it going.
He's been injured, but he is, he's a box office guy in Zion. But is he gonna last?
He's gonna last, right?
So,
and Ben Simmons on the other end, he's been the total opposite of that in terms of he's been ultra durable. Like, I don't think he's missed many games in his career besides obviously this stretch. But other than this year, he's been very reliable and very durable. So, yeah.
Because the way I see it, I mean, yeah, the Sixers are trying to win right now, but you could also be looking towards next year as well. Who knows?
Zay?
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that's like, it could happen, but that's an instant waste of money. Zion,
Twitter would melt down.
Yeah. He's a smart basketball player. He collecting his check right now. I think even he knows that, like, his best interest is to continue to collect his check and just chill. If he gets traded, I can see Zion going out west. But the Sixers, with all they have going right now, like you said, you called it out as a wacky trade. I'd definitely be very wacky for them to trade for Zion, who is a complete liability at this point.
Yeah. Well, okay. Since we on it, we talking about the elephant in the room. Okay. What about Simmons for? You hear this a lot, and this is, they say Daryl Morey, the GM for the 76ers, they say this is his dream trade, getting this guy that he had in Houston, getting him from Brooklyn. We talking James Harden, Simmons for Harden. Is that feasible? Is that something that makes sense for either team? Who says no? Who says no in that trade?
Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah. The Nets are not doing that, man.
Well, yes, and I would agree with that. But before you guys fully answer, there's a chance that Harden doesn't re-sign. He has a player option this year, so he could potentially not re-sign after this season.
That's true, but I don't know, man.
James Harden, he's definitely not coming back. We talked about that on earlier shows.
You think so? I don't know if I agree with that.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe
Okay.
it might have been BG that was saying he agreed as well. But I think after this year, with all that he's went through, somebody's leaving that group. Not all three of them will stay. I mean, whether it's KD, I think KD is the least likely to leave. But either James
I think Harden's the obvious choice out of those three if you had to choose.
Yeah, exactly. So it's he wants to win a championship, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna happen this year, and that's what's gonna, open that door for him. So
I mean, you don't think they have a chance? I'm just thinking hypothetically. Not that. Let's say this trade happens, and again, I'm just throwing out scenarios. This is the fun part of it. What if Harden does go to the Sixers? Harden and Embiid, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. You don't find it. What other 1-2 punch? I mean, that's up there with the other 1-2 with the other duos in the league right now.
Yeah, and I think that could really be considered like a Kobe, Shaq caliber.
Yeah, type of deal, right? And then you got. I don't know if he would have to be a part of the trade, but then you have Tobias Harris. Who's not a bad third piece. So I don't know. Russell Westbrook, does he get traded?
Thing about that trade. Yes,
I was about to say that. What about Westbrook and Simmons in some kind of deal?
Well, let's do this before you. Okay, Westbrook, BG or not BG, Zay. Were you going to hit on that point again and talking about Harden and Embiid?
Yeah, I think that trade, if it were to consist of Harden and Simmons, I think they would have to give up. The Sixers would have to give up somebody.
Yeah, they
else.
have to give up a boatload. Yeah. So Tobias is out of here. Sorry.
He definitely has a lot of value. He's probably one of the most valuable players in the NBA right now. And so I definitely don't see they either giving up draft picks, taking a loss on a couple drafts for the next few years, or
they're adding a third team. That's the thing people got to realize. There's always potential of an extra team, a third team. So it's much harder. It gets way more complicated, but it's been pulled off before. BG, you hit on it. Westbrook, does he get traded from the LA Lakers?
Here's the thing. Nobody wants his contract, man. 44 mil.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Nobody wants to take that off.
He reminds me a lot of, and this player's not playing, but we talk about contracts. John Wall. When's the last time you heard of his name? He's about at that $45 million mark per year. That's a lot of freaking money. Jeez Louise. I couldn't imagine what 45.
A lot of money to be sitting around too.
But look, also too, LA, California, that 45 turns into 20 real quick. That's getting cut way more in half. But when you in Texas, no state income taxes. Whoo. I don't know if I'm trying to leave Texas, man. Trade me to Dallas, maybe to the Spurs, or trade me to the Miami Heat somewhere in Florida. I'll go to the Magic if I'm John Wall. I'll go to anywhere they got no state income taxes. But to me, Wall and Westbrook, clearly not the same player. One is actually playing, one hasn't played in forever. But you talk about the large balloon number that they have of a contract. To me, they're kind of in that same conversation when you talk about the actual sheer large millions that they're paid per year.
Yeah, you said something about Miami. I'm blowing through money in Miami. I can't be in Miami. There ain't no way.
No way. Hey, speaking of Miami, look at us. We so good at this. Player that, and again, it's funny. I don't know what his trade value would be. It would be very interesting to see if I was behind closed doors and a fly on the wall in some of these meetings, what teams actually thought about him. Been very injury prone, and maybe it's a little bit of my Indiana Hoosier bias, but Victor Oladipo, he's on the Miami roster. Like, he could get healthy and help that team, or he could be traded, get healthy, and potentially help someone else. I'm just naming off some other players. We talked about John Wall, James Harden. We talked about Ben Simmons, Russell Westbrook. Again, that contract number is just too crazy, man. Ben Simmons, Jeremy Grant from Detroit
Jeremy
Pistons.
Grant.
Yep. Who else?
Jeremy Grant right now.
Who else you got, BG? Grant, Darren Fox, right? Sacramento, to me, Sacramento is going to be a buyer this trade deadline. Miles Turner, yes, you hit on, did a great job of that. I probably should have just said, hey, top guys who think will get traded, probably a list of 10 to 15 guys, just talk about what we ended up doing now, just talking about their trade value and where we think they can go. But as a team, I definitely think Sacramento is going to make a move. Like, I would be surprised if they don't. Who are some other guys here? Miles Turner, you talked about that. Gordon Hayward, potentially. Like, we talk about the Hornets and what they're doing. I mean, when you have just players on the wing, you obviously have the point guard. You got LaMelo, you got Terry Rozier, you got Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward. I mean, at some point, it's like, do you need all those guys? And Hayward is one of those guys where he probably gets paid the most out of. No, not even probably. He gets paid the most out of all those guys. But you can get a lot of the same production, especially from a Miles Bridges, for much cheaper right now, until you actually have to pay Miles Bridges, which is probably a year or two away. So do you want to trade a Gordon Hayward and make a move? Another name that I really like, Charis Levert. Charis Levert, man. Charis Levert for the Pacers right now. I think he can be a guy that you put him in the right scenario, whether it's a starting position, whether it's a 6-man role, like, he's been proven that he can score in the NBA when he has the ball and when he's given opportunities. So he's a guy that I'm really looking at. He plays for the Pacers right now, but another potential. We talk about Miles Turner, like Charis Levert. If we talk about Sabonis as well, I think the Pacers, Sacramento Kings, Sixers, of course, if they can get rid of Ben Simmons, I think they're about 3 or 4 teams, and the Pacers are one of them, where I think they are on the phones heavy. Their phone lines are blowing up because they're trying to make a lot of moves, trying to get rid of some contracts, trying to move some players and see how they can make some things shake.
Well, one thing we didn't mention when we talk about trade deadlines, like, you keep bringing up the Kings, like, they're bottom 3 in the West right now. At what point are you trying to tank for a draft pick?
They've done that so many years. We talked about it last show. They've had the longest playoff drought in NBA history. They're at like 21 years.
But they're sitting at 18-34 right now.
Yeah, they're bad.
Are they making a playoff push in the West?
No, they're not. They're Sacramento's they're not making a playoff push right now. They're in NBA purgatory. They're not making a playoff push. They do not attract attract free agents. Just history shows free agents do not sign there without being traded there. They do not sign on their own volition. And they don't have seemingly an impact player to the point where they have a player that can lead them at least to the playoffs year in and year out. Like, I love Darren Fox. Like, I love Tyrese Halliburton, guy they picked last year. I wanted my Detroit Pistons to select. We got Killian Hayes. Shout out Killian Hayes, I guess. But other than that, I mean, who's a big guy from Duke? Speaking of Duke, who's a big guy from Duke?
Marvin Bagley.
Marvin Bagley. I think that if they can get rid of him tomorrow, I think they would. But they just don't. They don't have much. I mean, they're a team that you even forget they're in the NBA, man. To be honest,
I got it for you.
Yeah, shoot it.
Whoever their owner is,
I can't say his name. I can't pronounce.
Move him. I don't know who it is, but here's my move for you.
Mm-hmm.
Move the Sacramento Kings to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, do it. Why not? The NFL did it. The NHL did it. MLB may be around the corner. You may as well move them there.
You want some players?
I actually don't mind that move, bro. I really don't.
That's a big market place right there.
Yep.
The Raiders are doing well.
Yep, they just signed Josh McDaniels, man. He's gonna be their new head coach. Look, to me, that's fun. The NBA trade deadline is February 10th. So we still have, 10 more days to see what shakes, to see what happens. A lot of big names that could be moved. A lot of teams that are going to be looking. They're going to be, again, hot on the phone lines, trying to find a player that they feel gives them a leg up against the competition. That really puts them in the position of either making the playoffs or making a title run. So we, as most NBA fans, are really excited about this time, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, last segment. And this is, I haven't done this in a while, man. Last segment, we're going to go over the top games of NBA Week 16. That is the week we are currently in. That is January 31st, which is today, Monday, through February 6th. I haven't done this in a while. Again, the fans of the college football show and NFL show, you're probably used to this. But this last segment is presented by the TST Speed and Agility, the spring sessions. We are currently having, well, not currently. Yes, we're currently having our winter sessions right now. But starting in about a week, we'll have our spring session. So we'll restart everything, be ramped up. Everything else will be much improved. It was a great winter session. Now we're heading right into the spring session, rolling right into it. So registrations are open for that. Please be aware of that. If you have any questions, please reach out, contact me. You know where to find me, man. Shoot my email, hit my phone line, whatever you got to do. Hit me on social media. You know I'm all over that. So got any questions? That is for elementary and middle school athletes of all sports. I just want to work on speed and agility and have a great time, fun time doing it in a safe environment. So make sure you register for that. So let's do it, man. Top games of this week, NBA Week 16. I got that pulled up right here. The first game that we will talk about. And this is a TNT game, if I'm not mistaken. You guys got me on that? I think this is a TNT game. TNT game. Perfect, man. And we did a lot of TV games this week. We have the Brooklyn Nets. And they are facing in Phoenix the Suns, who are the number one team currently overall. Some trends here. I haven't really done this for this show yet, man. This is cool to do. Brooklyn, in their last 17 games overall, they are 5-12 against the spread. That's not good. In their last 5 games overall, the Nets, they're also 1-4 straight up. So they only won 20% in the last 5 games. And then for the Suns, I mean, all the trends are obviously going to go for them. 10-0 straight up in the last 10 games, 6-3 against the spread in the last 9 games. However, in their last 7 games, 5 of them have gone under the total. So for whoever that makes sense for, whoever's looking for these type of stats, there you go. There you have it. So fellas, let's do this. Let's actually start with Zay. Let's start with you, man. Pick the winner for this matchup. The Nets versus Phoenix on Tuesday, TNT matchup. Go.
So I'm going to have to go with the Suns. I mean, they're the hottest team in the NBA. I really don't see them slowing down anytime soon as long as they all stay healthy. So the Nets, they're playing solid, but not good enough to beat the Suns. So I'm going to protect the record right here and go with the Suns.
All right, I got to ask this before you go, BG. Zay, 7.5 seemingly is the number. The number, dude. I'll say this. Let me take that back. Do the Suns win by 8 points or more?
I mean, yes. Yes, okay. They will.
That's a yes. That's a yes. BG, who you got in this matchup?
I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit, but I got the Suns. Durant's out. Harden's day to day. The Suns are at home. So the Suns are 21-5 at home. Brooklyn is 17-7 away. So Kyrie will be playing in this game. But if you look at Phoenix's record, the overall record is 40-9. In the West, they're 26-7, which means they've only lost 2 games against the East.
Jeez.
2 games against the East this year. So I'm going to go with the Suns. They've played once this year. Booker had a 30-piece on them on the Nets, and Chris Paul had 22-5 with 8 rebounds. So I'm gonna go with the Suns in this one, pretty convincingly. I'll say double digits.
Ooh, okay. You answered my question. All right. Look, my show, I'm going to do this. James Harden plays with Kyrie, the Nets win. James Harden doesn't play, and you got Kyrie solo dolo. I'm going with the Suns. Yeah, I can do that, right? My show, why not? I can do it. So, Harden plays. I got Nets. Harden and Kyrie plays. I got Nets. If one of those guys miss, I got the Suns. And if one of those guys miss, I got the Suns winning by 8 points or more. Okay, cool with that? Y'all cool with that?
Hey,
Good?
It's your show, man. It's
your show too.
It's your world,
show
man.
too, BG. Your show too, Zay. Don't you worry, my friends. All right, next matchup. Here we go. We have. Oh, you guys got to help me here. I don't know why I don't have this pulled up already. Oh no,
Nuggets,
here we go.
Nuggets versus Jazz.
Nuggets versus Jazz, but this is an ESPN game. Okay, and Nuggets, they are sixth. I'm sorry, they're fifth in the West, and the Jazz, they are fourth. So if the playoffs begin today or on Wednesday, I guess, then these two teams will be playing in a playoff series. So you have the Nuggets visiting the Jazz. We don't really have much on the number here. Trends, we don't have much. All right, don't worry about that. So in this matchup, again, an ESPN game, who do you have? BG? No, I'm sorry, Zay. You go first. Pick them.
Oh, for the Nuggets versus the Jazz, I'm going with the Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, as mentioned earlier, he's balling right now, and he's unstoppable, frankly. And they're another team that just wears you down over the course of the game. So I think that'd be too much for the Jazz in this one. I'm going with the Nuggets.
Man, this might be a boring show thronight. We gotta protect the picks though. We gotta keep I did bad last week, so I gotta stop throwing guys bones. I threw LeBron a bone last week and he embarrassed me, so can't be doing that anymore. But
pick with your head, not your heart.
With the Nuggets and the Jazz here, so you got the Nuggets on a 5-game win streak, the Jazz on a 5-game losing streak. For the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, he's in concussion protocols right now, so we'll see if he plays. Gobert's actually facing a calf strain right now, so he's probable. Ingles is out with a knee injury. But like I said, Nuggets 5-game win streak, Jazz 5-game losing streak. They've played 3 times this year, and Jokic is averaging 25 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists, shooting 64%. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Nuggets. Plus, I'm hungry, so I could use some chicken nuggets right now.
I love it. All right, so BG, you going with the Nuggets. Zay, you going with the Nuggets. I'm writing this down. Buggets. I put the wrong letter. All right. So that means I am going with the home team, the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell, is he going to play? That I do not know. I don't know if he played in their last game. I don't know if he's played in the last couple of games. But if Gobert is playing, you still have Bogdanovich. You still have Royce O'Neal. You still have 6th Man of the Year candidate, Jordan Clarkson, right? Yep. You still have him. And then who's a lefty, the point guard? Used to play for Memphis. Conley. He still play for him, right?
He does. He was an all-star last year.
Yeah. Is he not injured or hurt is what I mean?
I don't think so.
Man, it's so hard with this stuff with the NBA, man. But I'm going with the home team. I'm going with Jazz, and I'm going against you too. Holla. All right. Next, we have, what game is this? This is Thursday. Okay. This is a TNT matchup. We got the Suns again. All right. Number 1 team overall in the NBA. The Suns, they are now facing the red hot Atlanta, we should call them, the Atlanta Hawks. This is a TNT matchup. Zay, who do you have, my friend?
So, I mentioned I was just riding the Suns wave, but I think the Hawks are landing on the Sun in this one. Something just tells me that they're going to slip up next week, and this is going to be the game they do it in. Trae Young's playing well. The Hawks, they're playing, like you said, they're playing well. So I think they'll if they don't beat the Suns. Now, the Hawks are my pick. Don't get me wrong, mark me down for that. But if they don't beat the Suns, they're definitely covering in this game.
Love it. And, just like Miami, just like LA, just like New York, Atlanta's one of those towns, one of those city, man, where You ain't been there all year. You get one game there. Sometimes that that flu, that street flu, that Atlanta flu is a little bit different the night before if you're partying too hard and you got a game the next night. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. BG, who you got?
Yeah, I really wanted to go with the Hawks in this one, just because like Zay said, I thought the Suns are just too hot that maybe they'll have an off night. But Trae Young actually did not play tonight versus the Raptors, so the Hawks lost tonight, 106-100 to the Raptors. So without Trae, that's a pretty good performance. But Trae, the reason why he's out is he had a nagging hip injury, but then also he hurt his shoulder a little bit. So he's got the hip and the shoulder.
He's not a big guy, of course. And
he's not a big guy. So I'm gonna have to go with the Suns in this one. I mean, I just don't. It's hard to pick against the Suns, man. They're a dominant team, and if Trae's not 100%, then I'm gonna have to go with the Suns in this one.
Yeah, I'm rocking with that. There's no way on God's green earth that I'm going against the Suns twice this week. So I can't do it, man. Even though you guys are starting to learn, I would love to take the home team. And not only that, I would love to take the underdog, which we know the Hawks are going to be here. But I can't take this underdog, man. I gotta go with the boys in the desert. Not only Phoenix, but also the boys in Vegas, who I'm sure are saying that the Suns are going to win this. So I'm taking the Suns here in this matchup. And again, this is a TV game. Suns don't get a lot of them. And to me, from my personal opinion, or I guess just my perception of the Suns, I feel like when they play on TV, they love to show out. They one of those teams that they don't get enough TV games. They already feel disrespected. We talk about the Devin Booker thing. CP3, he's been disrespected mainly all his career. He's been one of the greatest. So I think that when they get this TV game, they're in Atlanta. This is a TNT matchup. You got Chuck, you got Shaq. Draymond just signed a contract with him. You got Ernie. They're gonna be talking noise. So I think the Suns come correct in this matchup. So give me the Suns against the Hawks on Thursday. And then our last matchup, ESPN game, we have the Sixers, who are number 3 in the East currently, against the number 6 team in the West, which is the Dallas Mavericks. This is Friday nights on ESPN. Zay, shoot 'em, man. Who you got?
Embiid has been balling, but Luka is gonna do his thing as well. So I'm going with the Mavs. I'm going with the Western Conference in this one.
You love the West, man. Clap it up for Zay. Clap it up for Zay, man. He loves the West, man. We gotta get you out of the West Coast.
I'm not going duck. So I'm going with the West. I think the Mavs, they're playing well, and they're ending out the week probably on a primetime game. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're gonna get the buckets in this one.
I love it. I would imagine the Mavs are going to be small favorites in this matchup at home. Sixers aren't great on the road, so
no.
BG?
All right, so I was looking at the Sixers and the Mavs here. Embiid rested tonight. He got himself a little rest, so he's going to be good to go for Friday. Porzingis is day to day, and the Mavs would rather have him than not have him. And I've been going with Luka a lot. I've been showing Luka some love, and he's been letting me down. He's been letting me down. I've been showing Embiid some individual love, but I've been going against the Sixers, and I've been failing at that too. I'm looking at Phoenix, or looking at the 76ers, and they are actually 14-7 versus the East. So 14-7 versus the West, 14-7. And the Dallas Mavericks are actually 7-10 versus the East. So I'm gonna go with the road team here. I just don't know if there's not many teams that have an answer for Embiid, but the Mavs definitely aren't one of them. So I'm gonna go with the Sixers.
You don't think Dwight Powell could slow down Joel Embiid?
I don't even know who that is, man.
Maxi Kleber.
Man, unless you're naming some perimeter all-star, then I don't know. The answer is no.
So you go with Sixers. Okay. All right. Bet.
I gotta catch up and beat Zay and pass him in the record. He's he put a whooping on me last week. So
do we have the official?
I don't think we have the official record. Maybe we should start this week because
we will start this week. It's the third week. Now we got a little collection of the game. I would imagine that Coach T's in the top spot. I'm pretty sure in college football I beat. Shout out to Mook, my co-host college football. What up? Got much love for you, man. I'm pretty sure I beat Mook this year, especially the bowl season. The bowl season was rough for Mook, rough. So I definitely got a leg up there. NFL. I was hot to start the year, and I had a little rough patch during the middle, but also went 2-0 last week. So, I don't know. Playoffs kind of have been up and down, but I would imagine I'm definitely top 2. This has got 3 co-hosts. So I'm definitely top 2 in the NFL, and then I'm off to a hot start here. I'm like the Phoenix Suns when it comes to this show. Like, I'm just leaving y'all in the dust.
That's because you ride the fence too much, and then you do your own editing, you go back and change it. Come on, we know the secrets.
Hey, run the tape, man. That is funny, though. I'm really laughing at that. I don't do that, by the way, fans, but that is funny to think about if I did do that. I mean, maybe that is a good little... Maybe I should do that. That is pretty smart, BG. Look, you guys know I like to pick underdogs. I've hit on that multiple times. It's not really an underdog here. I think the Mavs, again, will be short favorites here at Sixers. I think Embiid will be playing. He needed he had some much needed rest tonight. I mean, the kid's been a walking, I say kid, he's a grown man. Grown man has been a walking 30-point double machine literally for the last month. And I think every week, one of us have had him as our player of the week. So, I mean, it's just amazing what he can do. So if he's playing here, yeah, I agree with you, BG. I don't think clearly no one can actually slow down Embiid for the Mavs. Even if Porzingis is out there, I mean, a unicorn, he gonna turn him into a little donkey if he's playing against him. That's all I got to say there. But Embiid gets his if he plays. Luka, he gets his irregardless of anything else. It's the role players for me. A name we didn't talk about in trade rumors, which I think has a lot of value. If you're an NBA fan, you know about him, Jaylen Brunson. Another guy who, look at me, I be going on tangents. I don't know why, man. It's getting late. But another guy where his father was a decent player in the NBA. So Jaylen Brunson, the son now, he's playing well. The little lefty, little guard, not super explosive, but it's quick. What did he play at Villanova? Jaylen Brunson?
Yeah. Villanova.
Yeah. So he's playing well. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's playing well. Finney Smith, he's doing a good job there. And I'm not joking about Maxi Kleber. He can shoot the ball for the Mavs. So them at home is tough. But I'm with BG, you took Sixers. I'm with Sixers too, man. I like them on the road. And irregardless if they have Embiid or not, I won't change the pick. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna go with the Sixers here on the road against the Mavs on Friday night, ESPN. So be sure to tune in there. Okay, fellas, it's getting late. BG, you gotta eat, my man. And ladies out there again, you want a nice little meal? BG can whip it up for you. He even said it. He about to go whip himself up a nice little meal. So I like it. Let us know tomorrow what you ended up making. Okay, is that cool?
Man, I am not cooking a fancy meal right now at 11 o'clock.
Making a McDonald's run. Ooh, you can DoorDash McDonald's now.
Nah, I might make a Taco Bell run though.
No, don't do it. Not to Bella's. Don't go to the Bell. You have a long night.
That's my spot, man.
Oh Jesus. Well, I'll let you do that, man. BG, Zay, before we wrap up, do you guys have anything you want to say to the good people out there?
Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate you all. You know, we love you all.
Yes.
Definitely. You know, these late nights, it's fun. This stuff is fun, and it's even fun interacting with you all after listening to our episodes. So we appreciate it all.
Yeah, man, definitely. It's a blast. We look forward to it every week. I know I do. I love talking about it with you guys every day in practice. Listeners, we thank you. Keep listening. Keep sharing it. I know I got some of my friends, some of my old coaches that love listening. So we appreciate all the support.
All right, so shout out to the old friends, old coaches, old boo things, you know, old homies, all that, man. I love it. And BG, Zay, I'm going to say this. We going back to Sundays. I'm making an executive decision. We are going back to Sundays. So volleyball doesn't get in. And by the way, fans, your boy BG, he's in a grown folks volleyball league. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, man. Co-ed volleyball. Monday nights,
Athlete.
Tuesday nights, golf league tonight. So staying busy.
Golf
man.
league. Golf,
Hey.
right? Golf.
I play
okay.
golf. I play golf and volleyball tonight. So
Jeez, athlete. That's a real athlete. All right, let's do this, man. So we're back to Sundays. I'm making an executive order there, man. Sundays is our vibe. We're gonna do the Sunday vibe, man. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And then, look, man, enjoy the week. Enjoy these games. We talked about the top matchup, the TV games this week. Fans, just continue enjoying, obviously, the NBA slate and the season that's upon us. Remember that we will have the mega show for the All-Star break, which we'll talk about the All-Star game, All-Star weekend. We'll also talk about the impressions from the first half of the year, and then we'll also project to how we think the year will finish out. So that will be coming up in a couple of weeks. Next week, we're obviously back doing our thing next week. And please, as you know, I got to stop saying but fans, continue to show love, continue to show support, keep rocking with us. And as always, we'll keep bringing you that fun.